right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle live pre-New York session. I'm your host for today's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're definitely happy and grateful for everyone being with us this morning as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we can take advantage of in the Forex market. So without further ado, as always, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper for notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. So right out the gate, please drop me a 1 in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear and you are all ready to go for this morning's session. All right, let's rock and roll. Ryan, good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, bro. Good morning. How are you?
Oh man, I'm doing great. Always glad to be here on this Wednesday morning. So Ryan, right out the gate, I'm looking at my charts this morning, and I'm trying to catch on to what's going on. But we've got yen strength this morning on a lot of these yen crosses. So I definitely want to check that out and see what's going on. I usually have a publication that comes through that gives me some overnight information, but I don't
didn't
know.
get anything either.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but we'll take a look at it. But it's definitely those yen crosses are moving this morning, so we shall see. So if anybody out there in the group might know what's going on, feel free to let the group know. But in the meantime, I'll continue to research to find out. But hey, we'll take the price action. But anyway, so yesterday, we know that coming out of the weekend, coming out of at the end of last week, with the whole bank failure, whatnot, everybody was looking for the CPI numbers to come out, and we could see that the year over year came in right at 6%. CPI month over month 4%, and right creeped up right 0.5 from 0.4% on the core CPI, which is the Fed's one of the major data points that they look at. But everything was within range of what was forecasted. So the question out there, right, still remains: what's going to happen at that next Fed meeting? We'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of back and forth right now, so nobody knows. Right. So we've got speculation. So we've gone all the way from 50 basis points to, hey, now since the bank failures and something is finally broken, we're looking at 25 basis points. And now, right, you've got some major firms, Goldman Sachs, some articles I was reading, looking at the possibility of them holding rates all together, which will kind of play into the market's narrative that eventually the Fed's going to hold rates this year and then eventually cut. Meanwhile, the Fed is saying there's no chance of that, but we've got bank failure now. So we will see that ongoing battle. We'll see who wins out. We'll just see the price action play out on the charts and see where we can get in, where we fit in, right? So that was the core, the CPI data yesterday. Again, like we said, coming out of the weekend, busy week this week. We've got the annual budget release for the UK, 8:30. We've got core PPI coming out, and we've got core retail sales for the United States. We've got Empire State Manufacturing Index coming out. It's gonna be busy. Right at 8:30, you're gonna have a ton of information released right at the market open, pretty much. So let's continue to keep our eyes out on that volatility, and we'll make plays from there, right? So during these busy weeks where you have such major reports and added emphasis because of what happened with the banks, and because it's all leading up to the FOMC meeting and rate statements and things like that, these hold extra weight. And so in weeks like these, we definitely like to trade with a bit of caution, right? So you may not see as many trade ideas and things like that come out. We really just don't want to put people in a bad position, right? We know that those are just trade ideas, but still, we want to trade with caution, right? That's how we handle our accounts, and we wouldn't tell you to handle it any different. We've got the GDP numbers coming out for New Zealand, and then we've got for Australia, we've got employment data coming out. So very busy Wednesday in the market. So pretty much throughout the day, right at 8:30, 5:45, and then on to the evening with Australia. So that's the fundamentals right now. Any questions? All right. Trading economics, China industrial output growth below estimates, right? So continue to keep an eye on that. That's important, right? Second largest economy in the world. Everybody's looking forward to the benefit of the China reopening. But we've been, as of late, getting some mixed data out of China too. So it continues to happen in fits and starts. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. But any news out of China is always important, right? Especially from a global perspective. All right. So Eurozone industrial output rises more than forecast, right? So the output is good. We know that we are overall hawkish on the euros overall, right? Looking for decent low prices and things like that. And this week on Thursday, we have the ECB rate statement. Still expected 50 basis points, but we shall see. It's all about what's going to happen going forward. And these bank failures have spooked the markets a bit. So we'll continue to watch out for that. A second, good morning to everybody that just joined us. Make sure you have control of your microphones. All we ask is, hey, if you're not asking a question or making a comment, please do your best to keep your microphones on mute. All right, so that's there. We're also getting, when I took a peek at this DXY this morning, we're getting some dollar strength, right? We'll see how it plays out, right? So Ryan was going over that consolidation last night during the session. We can see we broke it through, right? So you can see you had a swing high. Okay, we're waiting for it to break either way, and we make our moves accordingly. But this morning, we're definitely getting some dollar strength. So you can see right there, that high, that consolidation. Okay, that was going on. We've got good price action to the upside. Regards to dollar strength. Okay. So we've broken out of that level. So let's continue to watch that for today. And okay, Ryan, anything to add from a fundamental perspective?
I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this yen, man.
I know, right?
There's a couple things that popped up. I'm not sure if they would have that big of an impact though. A major Japanese firm agreed to hefty wage hikes amid rising prices. So one of the major tech firms that makes semiconductors is strongly considering raising wages for their employees. And then this other article that I read, Japan and South Korea they're going to meet to resolve some of their stalled relationships and diplomacy issues.
Okay.
So those are the two things that I saw, but I'm not sure if those two things will have the reaction that we're seeing.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to figure out what's going on there.
Yeah, I'll share these two articles. We can read them, but that's what I've been looking at so far. But nothing else outside of what you covered though.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure either. Hey. And then sometimes you get
reaction.
It is a strong reaction, and then sometimes levels matter. Sometimes levels matter. Like we were looking at that. We've been watching that cash switch hitting those lows. And sometimes it could just be good. Prices at good level are at good levels. So we'll continue to watch out for that. Appreciate you posting that. So let's go in and take a look at some of these yen crosses so y'all can see what we're talking about this morning. So we'll start right at the top and take a look at the Aussie yen. And you can see, right, we've got it moving down. So you can look here at the daily, right? So that move to the downside continues to happen. Okay. So we pull out our tool here, right? A, your B, your C is your highest point within the AB boundary. That was beautiful structure there with that weekly resistance. And now we look to come, right, ultimately to that D extension, okay, to that D extension. So we'll see, right? Well, right now, coming into the day, right, we've got a nice move to the downside. So if you come here and you take a look at this, right, and this is why you set your charts up. We've come into a high price and now we're short, right? And now this is just a mean move to the downside, right? From a timing perspective, sometimes this could be hard to catch unless you're just playing the levels, right? The zones is in my zone. So like this, okay? Right, that's why we say we do our best to try to determine an overall bias on the currency pair, right? So if your stop is above that A and you're playing that zone to get short, okay, trading small, you're dividing your risk by your stop loss, and now you're looking at an ABCD move. So coming out of your 61A zone, right, my risk is, call it 80, 82 pips, but my downside potential on that is 253, right? So the fibs, when set up properly, help you determine where to get in, where to get out, right? Where to enter, right? When you look at your zones, okay, and it sets you up. If you let price move to a high price, because we want to sell at a high price, then it puts you in really, really great risk to reward scenarios. Now, how you play this, okay, is now we've gotten a trend line break to the downside. So either on your lower time frames, your 15-minute, or you can stay right here on the 1 hour. And what you're going to try to do at this point is you try to catch, right, a decent pullback. Right? And sometimes you can get it, sometimes you can't. Sometimes the move is just so impulsive, right, that you may not get it before it hits that D extension. But if you do, you're looking for a pullback, and then you want to look to get short, right, for the continuation. Because that pullback represents what? Another high price. Okay. So if we come in and let's add a 15 on the Aussie yen. All right. What's going on? Oh, there it is again. Let's see. This is wild. Anyway, let me try to, what is this, the 4? Let me try to switch to 4 to 15. Okay. So here we go. Okay. So as you move down through the time frames, right, you zoom in, look at that move. So from your 15, right, you're looking for a correction, right, and a move back down. You want to see the market take back some of that impulsive move to the downside. All right. So that's huge. It's over 100 pips. All right. Any questions on the Aussie yen?
No.
So you can see, right, coming out of the weekend, the ritual direction, right? We've got price action in the right direction. That's the first thing, right? We got to try to figure it out if we can, right? If we can't figure it out, then we just move on to another pair. No worries. Okay. So that's the Aussie yen. Let's go take a quick look at the Swiss yen. right? So we know, right? We're up around these levels again. Look at all the wicks there, right? So you're getting price rejection overall, okay? And you can see here that we're moving to the downside. Okay, we're moving to the downside. And that's what we want, right? We need market to give us a direction. So we know we've been moving up. Okay, move this back over. And now this is all types of crazy stuff. All right, so we'll continue to watch. Huge move, market reaction. So this here on the 4, okay. I have that right. No, I was playing around with it. Ryan, is that how your switch in is set up on the 4? Are you have your
On the 4.
this is another chart that got jammed up. So I just want to make sure that
On the 4, I have. We had a no. I ran the fib from. It does get choppy, but the low on Sunday, January 15th, is where I started my fib on the 4.
from January.
Yep, January 15th.
Let me just clear this out.
Just yeah, that not that one. It's the most recent lows where I ran my
This
fib
one.
from. Yeah. I know, not even there. Keep going. Right there, that low there.
So I think I had it right, but yeah. So we're good.
Yeah.
Right. There's a larger one.
Is there?
I think.
Yeah. I know it got choppy.
Yeah. That one's cool, but there's I think there was a larger one that is playing off of.
Okay.
I think that was on the 1 hour.
Was
Yeah, I
it?
don't have it on my 4.
Okay. It's on a 1. All right. Yeah, I'm having to redo these more frequently now because of what's going on with these bugs. Just want to make sure. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Right, because that was that 80-20 from before. It just kept running to the downside. Right.
Yeah, I got you.
We didn't take that A out. Right. So now, all right, this is the move. I don't know what that correction. I don't know how far that correction is going to run. But it's massive. There we go. So we're coming right into a 4-hour and daily level. So that's going to be interesting to see what continues to happen with that. So that's where we are on the switch in. We know we've been moving long, right? Huh?
I was gonna say, did you look at the weekly?
Yeah. Yep. I can it's just doing the dance, right? It's rejecting off that level. We'll
Yeah,
see. We'll see.
so if that does continue, right, and the yen
Mhm.
does stay strong, that's the 80-20 off the weekly time frame.
Right.
Over time play out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's see. But you know, there was a I forget which firm he was from, but he was calling. He was a major banker out of Japan. He was calling the dollar yen to 120. He was calling for yen strength overall over the year. So I don't know what this is about this morning, but he was just talking about that. Was it Tuesday? Well, Monday. I think it was Monday. He was talking about that. So I don't know. We'll continue to see. Let's take a look at this cat yen. Right. So you have a similar scenario right now. Right. Here's your one. Beautiful price action. Right. So if we're going to get a sustained move to the downside, this is the same thing, right? So we're going over these so you can keep them on your radar as traders, right? So not sure if this will continue to push down and retest that 96.70 level. It may make it there, but what we're looking for are corrections, right, at this point, and continuations down. But one thing that I want everybody to see, right, is if you can determine your directional bias, right, and you stick to your trade plan and you look for trades to come into your zone, okay, then you see it, right, how you can put yourself in really, really good setups, okay? So you're looking at off that 61.8 area, right, to your stop above the A, right? You're putting that out of the way, 100 pips, call it. But your move to the downside is like 286, right? Almost 290 out of that zone. Okay. You find enough of those during the year, you put yourself in a really good position to make money. So that's the cat. That's the cat. Yeah, that's where we are. Right. Looking at the continued move to the downside. Any questions on the cat yet?
I have a question. Good morning.
Good morning.
So you said that someone was calling for yen strength, but doesn't it mean if the quote is strong, it makes the pair go down? You know?
Yeah. So that's a great question. So you see here your CAD yen. Your CAD is your base. Your yen is your counter currency, right? So if your yen is strengthening and it's the counter currency, right? This pair is gonna move down.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes. Okay.
Right? Because that right. So your yen. So if we go through and we look at these crosses, right? So you see your Aussie yen, right? That's a great question that you ask, right? So if you look at your Aussie yen, right? You see how your yen is your counter currency. That's how you kind of can figure things out, right? Where that strength is coming from, right? So you get when you start to look at it across the board and you look at it as a basket and you see what's happening, you're like, okay, this is more due to yen strength at this point in time, right? Because now the yen is the counter currency in both those pairs, right? Aussie yen, CAD yen, Swiss yen, right? And you see them all moving to the downside. Whereas you come in, you take a look at something, right? So we saw the CAD yen moving to the downside, but then when you come in and you look at something like the CAD Swiss, right? So now you've got the CAD, but you have right a different counter currency, which is the Swiss franc, and you can see that that's moving up. You see?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So that's what has us really focused in on the yen and trying to figure out, what's going on. Because like if you come in here and you take a look at the euro yen, now we know, right, that overall the euro has been bullish. But again, you've got the yen taking a secondary position in this pair, right? It's the counter. Look at what's going on. Right. So if we go to Google and you just type in like let's see, Strength, right? Let's type in a currency strength meter, right? There's always a free one out there. So you just go to livecharts.co.uk, and you can see that yen is a monster right now. So let me put this in the chat for everybody. There you go. All right, little nugget there. Okay, so you can see, right? It's showing some strength. The dollar's strong, right? We're seeing that technically on the chart. Yep. Yep, Carolyn. Awesome. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right. Thanks for that. So that's where we are. Okay. So it look like, right, we've got a policy shift, right, going on, right? A decision that's been made to pay them higher wages. Okay. So right, we're getting a strong reaction, right? If that's what's driving it, right? We've got a strong reaction going on this moment on the euro. So that's the euro yen. We'll come in, we'll look at the GJ. Right? And we're getting that similar move to the downside. Right? So look at that move. Moving bearish. Here. Okay. Beautiful 80-20. Okay. When that zone is very, very powerful for the counter trend move. Okay. That's why we trade it. You've got an AB boundary, shallow retracement. See how price never came to that 382 off that first move to the downside. We pushed up to that 80-20 zone. Look at the amount of look at how bullish this move was. Okay. Bullish for almost 400 pips to the upside. That zone is stopped right in its tracks, and you have sellers coming. Okay. It's an amazing zone to play. And you've got to move back to the downside. Okay. So across the board, yen strength this morning, right? That's the narrative. Take a look at the NZD-JPY, see what kind of reaction we're getting, right? We know that we saw, right, some strength too out of the New Zealand currency, and we can see we're just moving down, right? Just a bearish reaction. This one is choppy as all get out, but this is just a bearish reaction to the downside. And that's why we take a look at all the currencies, right? So we're not with stocks, right? There's a ton of stocks, right? With currencies, there's only so many that you have to focus on. There's only so many that you have to focus on. And you pay attention to what their central banks are doing and the overall monetary and fiscal policy, right? So it's not hard when you're looking at all of them across the board to see the patterns. Right? Do the cross pairs move faster pips than the US pairs? No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. No, it depends on fundamentally what's creating the volatility. All right, so let's take a look at the UJ. Okay. Oh, not my UJ chart, Ryan. It just. Oh, there we go. All right, that was scaring me a bit.
Oh,
So I'm like, man, this was set up, right? So look at that. So do we? I don't know. Like this is a market reaction this morning. So I don't know if this will end up being a further push, especially since we're seeing some dollar strength as well. This may just cause a slight correction, but that's a beautiful 80-20 back to the downside. Right, almost got TP2. It's going to be an interesting day for retail. This is the Catholic on the fourth and the tail zone. So we are a little extended. Happened like 5:15. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Joy. So yeah, so that's what solid price action looks like. That's a beautiful move. TP1 almost TP2. We'll see if it with the retail sales that comes out and all the other numbers today to see if that gets a further push to the downside. But he was calling 120 on a dollar yen. That's a ways, right? That's a pretty strong move. I mean, that crown would eventually play out. Eventually play out if he's talking 120, which means that A will get taken out and price will move to the downside. That's 120 there, right in that zone at 127. So we'll see if that plays out over time. I'm actually going to mark that to see if that happens. After here, 20. So there we go. Any questions on any of these yen crosses? No. All right. So let's take a look at this Aussie Swiss because we came back and posted it again. It was posted in the Telegram a while ago, but want to come back and take another look at it because we got the cloud break and it's pushing a little bit sideways, on the other side of the cloud. But we've got some bullish momentum, so we look for a move to TP1 on that eventually. Okay, so we've had a TK crossover. Right, we don't have a lagging span through the cloud yet. That's going to come later, but it is above price. Right, so our lagging span, a Chico span as they call it, is above price. We've got price beyond the cloud. We've got a bullish cloud up ahead, and we've got our Tinkerson and Kijisen on the other side of the cloud. We've got a stochastic that's in the buy zone, so we're looking to eventually hit TP1 on that. That's the goal, right? Is to get to that first level. Okay. So there we are. Okay. Take a peek back at this CAD Swissy. Right. So just to go back up to the daily time frame, Ryan covered this, but we notice, hey, we're coming in. We come in at a low. Okay. So, and as Ryan was talking about last night, we've come in at the pandemic low, 2020, and we see the reaction that we got to the upside. So it becomes a play where it's just like, hey, are we going to get another reaction, or is this going to correct and then create a new low eventually? But right now, it's moving buy side. Okay, so this is a weekly chart. On a daily, just additional confirmation. We do have an 80-20 right on the nose there. Prices reacting, stochastics in the buy zone on the daily. We're getting a nice move up. Okay. And you can see very, very nice, right? V-shaped type recovery there, right off the low. So we're getting some decent price action on that. And then here we are on the one. There we go. So that's what that looks like. So we just came into a sub fib D extension. You can see that fib is no longer highlighted, but that's been a beautiful move out of the zone, right? So off that 127 level, we've already moved up 80 plus pips. Even more than that off the low. Right? You're over 100 off the low. So we look for a continued upside move, right? We will have our corrections and our pullbacks, but again, you can see everybody different pair, right? Same type of setup. We've got the TK crossover. We've got the Chico span or the lagging span, as they call it, above price. We got price breaking through the cloud, TK crossover through the cloud. Now, you've got a bullish cloud up ahead. Stochastic still moving up through the buy zone, and we've got good positive price action. Any questions? All right. So you can see, right, that zone again, right? Home of the 80-20, right? We love that setup. Okay. That's the only setup you ever trade, you'll do all right. Right? You'll do all right. All right. So let's see. We've got another 85 pips to TP1. And 46 pips to TP2. Okay. So let's see. Let's see. Any questions on that cash Swiss?
No, sir.
All right. I know I did check back to see if we got any further price action on this this pound CAD.
Yeah, it started to move.
Oh yeah. Patience pays, don't it? My goodness. All right. So we posted that in the newsletter this weekend, the pound NZD, pound CAD, hot setups. Pound NZD came down, hit target pretty quick. Pound CAD has taken a while, but you can see right this morning, right, we're moving to the downside. Okay, so if you come in and you make a play, you know, out of the zone and you get that TP1, that's 225 pips. Okay, so you've got over 200 pips there. Okay, and on your pound NZD, just scrap. You did, man. Listen, well, my screen blanked out, but the pound NZD. Let me. Target. EU just hit the 61.8 retracement. All right, we'll check that out. Let me. Time to have a chart party. Let me. So. All right. So we go down, right? So we saw the pound CAD and the pound NZD, right? We scroll through, okay, and we move. Can everybody see? Ryan, can you see my screen? Just blanked out on me for a second. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. So if we move down right to the end, right? You had two setups here. Your pound CAD, right, which we see that price action still moving to the downside, and then you had your pound NZD, right? That played out. So my screen has since blanked out, but you can see where that moved, that came down at target. So something like that. Right? And we came down to target. So it ended up right at the 382 or something like that, the way it was set up. But so that was two decent setups this week, two 80-20s, right? Where, especially if you get that pound CAD to hit before the end of the week, right? That's pretty much all you needed, right? In addition to your CAD switch that's moving to the upside, your Aussie switch that's moving to the upside. So do we put you, in those instant quick, 2-minute chart trade scenarios? No, but they play out nonetheless. This is crazy. But so you just have to be patient. Make sure you're checking out the newsletter, because we do put some setups in there as well. Any questions on the newsletter? Are you all able to open the newsletter? Okay, everybody able to read it? Yes. Okay. Cool. All right. So that is I want to take a look at that Euro USD. Right. Look at that drop off. Thanks for the heads up on that. So you see, right, the zone, right, that we're in. Right. So somebody tell me, did we hit a 382 prior to breaking the B boundary? Yes or no? No, exactly. Okay. And we stalled. This 118, 127 zone, right? That's an 80-20 right back down into the boundary. Okay. So if you were playing that, okay. Right. The setup becomes easy. That's my TP1, TP2. Why do we like trading that setup? Because it works. Yeah. I know it gets redundant. I know it can be boring. Right. When things get super boring, that's usually when you start making money. So that's where we are. We'll see what happens with that, right? So we're at TP2, of course, always mark our TP3 as the A boundary, right? If it takes out the A, right, we're probably gonna head the other way, okay? And you can see here that we've had a nice move up. Now we're correcting back to the downside. So if you get a further correction from your higher time frame, it's gonna take that A out, okay, on your lower time frame. Okay, fractals. Any questions on that Euro USD?
No, sir.
Right. So here we are, right? Watching this NZD USD. Bearish, right? We've got some bullish momentum coming off the dollar. Right, so we're turning back over in the zone. This one has the ability to bounce around, right? So we've got we've got some New Zealand strength, right? You got dollar strength. So that one could bounce around a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see if that continues short. We'll see who wins the day. Right. Okay, there we go. Let's take a look at the dollar CAD. So the dollar's winning the day. Look at that right there. Oh, I didn't see this one. That might be a C to D move, everybody. Okay. That's coming off strong off that 50.
So I got a question.
Yep, that's strong right there. I like the way that's looking. Yep, go ahead.
How far is too far to not take a trade? So if it didn't hit my order and I see it moving, should I get excited and jump in, or just wait to see if a pullback and just let it go?
Always wait for that correction, right? So that's how you use your time frames, right? Okay, because it's fractal. So this is a bullish candle. Okay, you're long, but we know, right, that your lower time frames, okay, you start to get that smaller wave action, right, within that candle. Everybody follow me on that? So eventually, right, you're gonna get a correction. It's moving strong to the upside now. See that there? See it now. You see how you see how, whereas you just got one solid candle on that 4, right here, you've got it extended. It's impulsive right now. Look at that. What in the world? Okay, so
man, I'm trying to figure it out too, dude.
what is
going
on? That's fundamental right there. Okay, so eventually, Joy, it's been the craziest 3 months of trading I have ever been involved in. But it makes sense considering everything that's going on around the world.
Somebody woke up with some money and got bored. That's why and I was not wrong with that.
Oh my goodness. Right.
It certainly did something.
So we spotted a 4-hour low, right, here in this zone, right? So that looks like it won't even give me it. It only has it's got an 8-hour candle. Right. So that's what that looks like, that price action. That's what I was kind of trying to see. Now that's an 8-hour candle, not a 4, but you can see this is moving up. This is crazy. But we're getting that price action. So eventually we're gonna get a new fib to form, right? Wherever that new high forms, swing high forms, we're gonna get a new fib. So then this is what you look for as a trader. You don't jump in now, right? Because there's no game plan that you can set around them jumping in right now. Okay. Because you can't determine if that's the high, that might be the high and we get a correction. Now you're stuck. Right. So you just wait. Okay. And then you look to get long. Okay. That's what I would wait. So that's why I always say, hey, we love the volatility and the price action, right? We just want to see the market. When you're using the fibs, right, and you have a trade plan, and you do your best to determine the directional bias. Once it gets going in your directional bias, hey, that's what we want to see. That's what we want to see. So we don't worry about, okay, the move out of the zone is moving, I'm not involved yet. Why? Because we understand that the market moves in waves. So that kind of helps us control that FOMO, right? That fear of missing out. Because we understand, like, hey, it's going to move in a wave sequence. So I just need to see it, pull back, and then I can look to get long, right? And then even when it gets to that point where we get a new established low price, we still want to wait, right, for those confirmations that are part of your trade plan. All right. So that's where we are on this dollar CAD. Oh my goodness. Take a look at what's going on with this dollar Swiss. Ooh, right. Look at the level, man. Look at that level. Look at the rejection off that. My goodness. So you have to say potentially back to the top of the range. Look at that double. Look at that. I missed this.
Oh, you missed it.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. All right. So we got this good move down. We got this double bottom. It's kind of. Okay. So we drew this up for a potential high price. But I don't need to find out what's going. I don't know what's going on.
I've been looking everywhere, man, and I am not seeing anything. Like the UK had their released their budget, but I'm not seeing anything major that came out of that.
The only thing that I could think of is because when I came on, they was talking about Russia hit that drone and it's in the Black Sea and they about to go into meetings and stuff. I don't know if that got anything to do with it.
That happened yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
That happened yesterday afternoon. Maybe they're about to, because I read some articles on that too, and they're talking about some unintended consequences. But I haven't seen anything new since yesterday.
Well, we got that target on gold for whatever the reason. I don't know, but you can see, right? So that one we've been waiting on for a while, that target there. Right? So we have reached target one. That's an 80-20. Right? Look at that swing. We got the dollar's rallying, the yen's rallying, gold is moving to the upside. The low that put in. Past resistance becoming future support. As it gets. Okay. Look at the correction down. getting this move up. This A got taken out on your one off this way. So now we can eliminate this. On your one, right, when we had that mapped out on the lower time frame, somebody told me, right, it's an 80-20. Oh, we can take this out now. Right. So you can see now what was a correction to the downside is now moving upside to the upside. So we now have, I had the 80s and 20s zone too. That's gonna miss. Right. Nice correction, but it's gonna miss. So now you can start to see how you have the lower time frames starting to move in line. That's your low point. With your higher time frames, slowly but surely, right? So this is how it works. So we've got an A-B move, we got a B to C move on a correction. So in your lower time frames, of course, that's moving down, right? So you got down ABCD waves moving to one side because you've got a correction, right, off your higher time frame. Higher time frames control the lower time frames. But now we've got a reversal. So in your lower time frames, you had down ABCDs going, okay? And it starts from your lowest time frames and it starts to work its way up. So whereas you had down ABCDs on your correction, like so. Down ABCDs on the correction. But now when it's time for that C to D push to occur on a daily time frame, things flip. So here was an A, right? We had a sub fib running here, took out that A. This fib, this was your main capital fib here, and here was your A. It took it out. So what do? We flip the fibs the other way. Okay. Now I've got up ABCDs going on my one, just like I have on my daily. See that there? Now, if this continues to push long, eventually it's going to take this A out on the 4. It takes it longer. Why? Because it's a 4-hour chart. Okay. So if it wants to continue bullish, it's going to eventually take out this A. Then what? Then I'm going to have up ABCD waves running on my 4. Okay. See? So as it continues to power through zones, right? Because right, there's the low. There's the swing. So if this daily C to D is going to play out, okay, and move higher, eventually to that D extension, should be crazy. Then what? This A will get taken out. But it starts doing it from the lower charts, see, first. And then it builds upon itself. Yeah, see? So in your 15-minute, those down ABCDs got taken out a long time ago, right? And we're moving to the upside. That's how fractals work. Okay. So we're moving up. 1 hour. We're moving up. 4 hour. We're moving up, but we haven't taken out that A yet. Overall higher time frame move, C to D push potentially. Okay. That's how it works. So then eventually, all of your charts will be in alignment. Okay. Everybody follow me on that? Drop me a 1 in the chat. Once you get the spatial intelligence down, it's lights out. Okay. Ryan, anything to add before we close out the session, sir?
No, sir. No, sir. Great session, bro. If I find anything new, I will post it in the Discord.
Yeah, it's a little mind-boggling, but it's cool to see.
It's absolutely cool to see.
But here's what I will say before we close out, Ryan. Going into you doing your research. Isn't it amazing that the ABCD waves still play out?
They still play out, bro. They still play out with all of the craziness. Because the narrative from us has been kind of the same over the past year and a half, right? As far as the 3 to 4 month increments, it's been crazy. Constant change. But every single time they play out.
Yep. Right. I don't know where on these setups, like based on how we, how we set the charts up and what we thought was coming our way. It's pretty much moving in sync. So, yeah. Primary source for info, Discord. What's the back room?
That's the back office. Yeah, your primary source of information will be the Discord. The back office is primarily for your training, but we shifted pretty much all the communication to Discord when it comes to just daily communication chats. We have our trade setups if you subscribe to those. So yeah, you want to make sure that you're in the Discord. The emails have been sent to you.
Thank you. I've been in and out a while and I've missed a few things, so I'm just trying to catch back up.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back. Glad to have you back. All right. Well, that's it for this session. Hey, we'll see everybody 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you tune in tonight for my man, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And with the crazy morning that we're having, and this is before we even have all the data coming out at 8:30. And then later on this evening. So make sure you tune in tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for hanging in there with us this morning, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.